For some, autumn comes early, stays late through life where October meets September, and November touches October, and then instead of December and Christ's birth, there is no Bethlehem star, no rejoicing. But September comes again, and old October, and so on down the years, with no winter, spring, or revivifying summer. For these beings, fall is the ever normal season. The only weather, there be no choice beyond. Where do they come from? The dust. Where do they go? The grave. Does blood stir their veins? No, the night wind. What ticks in their head? The worm. What speaks from their mouth? The toad. What sees from their eye? The snake. What hears with their ear? The abyss between the stars. They sift the human storm for souls, eat flesh of reason, fill tombs with sinners. They frenzy forth, in gusts they beetle scurry, creep, thread, filter, motion, make all moons sullen and surely cloud all clear run waters. The spider web hears them, trembles, breaks. Such are the autumn people. Beware of them. After a pause, both boys exhaled at once. The autumn people, said Jim. That's them, sure. Then, Will swallowed. Does that make us summer people? Not quite. Charles Halloway shook his head. Oh, you're nearer summer than me. If I was ever a rare fine summer person, that's long ago. Most of us are half and half. The August noon in us works to stave off the November chills. We survive by what little 4th of July wits we've stashed away. But there are times when we're all autumn people. Of course, that segment is from Bradbury's Something Wicked, This Way Comes. I thought that would be pertinent to start off my video today. I'll have to preface at the jump, if I sound a little different, y'all forgive me. I've got a bit of a head cold, and I haven't been feeling well for the past couple days. What brought me to Bradbury this morning? Well, it's been a rough week. I spoke on Wednesday, and we had a passing in our family, and I'll keep the details of that private. If you know me, you probably know who it was, but some things are best kept close to the heart. It's weighed on me a lot. I received other pretty dreadful news this week from another close family member. Again, I won't speak of exactly what it was, but if you know, you know. But those of you that don't know, it's one of those terrible things that falls upon your soul and doesn't let go. I lay in bed the other night, and a thought occurred to me. Horror is the natural state of things. We go through life trying to make the best of it, trying to keep hope, as we should. But, and I've spoken to this point before, Mother Nature, our universe, the fabric of being, is uncaring and indifferent. There's no sense of fairness. We're out here on our own, floating like asteroids in space. The natural state of being for man is to experience horrific things. Things that we cannot control. Things that we have no ability to lasso and bring into order. Our burden as people, cast out from that garden, is to experience horror. And I often wonder if that's why horror in all its forms, films, books, comics, if that's why man has been entertained by horror for so long. Because horror of media is a horror that we can control. We can close the book. We can turn the TV off. That nightmare ends. But for many of us, the true nightmares, they never end. I've never mentioned this before in a video, but most nights I have nightmares. Rarely do I have peaceful dreams. Most nights it's not fun. I don't sleep well. I've often wondered if I'm one of those autumn people. And honestly, I think there's a bit of the autumn people in all of us. In some of us, it's more present than others. And for those of us who are the autumn people, I believe we have an eye for horror like few others do. And we see it in the world, recognize it. We know its name. There are joys to be had with horror. I don't deny that. But there's a great sadness that follows it. Those people that toil away and delight in the October country. They walk amongst you. I think about all the horrific things that have happened to people in this world. Just yesterday, I wrote about the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Yesterday, as a day of recording this, yesterday was the 81st anniversary of that tragic event. 80,000 people wiped out like that. And all told, close to 150,000 people died from those bombings, when you account for the folks that passed from radiation sickness and various illnesses that came about because of those bombings. A lot of people died unnecessarily. And that doesn't even begin to account for the millions of people that have passed from war and disease and illness just since then. There's a bit of the autumn people in all of us. And I believe that's because it has to be. What else to counter the horror that is of our natural world? Terror and fear, they're two pieces of the puzzle that surrounds us. To be afraid is part of the natural order. And man has reason to be afraid, a deep reason, a long buried reason. It's unfortunate. I wish men could be the flower children, that was so fondly promoted and held in esteem in the 50s and 60s. Flower children, peaceful, fun-loving, flighty flower children. That's not reality, though. Horror follows us everywhere. It's around us all the time. It is part of the natural order. And it's so doggone uncomfortable because we cannot control it. We can't turn it off. We can't throw the book to our side and close it for the night. No. The horror is real, and it's all around us. Now, I believe most folks have found sufficient and solid ways to distract themselves from the horror. We've got football and coffee and the evening news. We've got kids' soccer practice, and we've got cape movies at the theater. We've got vacations and cruises, trips to Cabo, bottles of wine, sunsets on the beach. It's easy to distract yourself, but the horror is always there. It always follows. It's always right around the corner. It's always waiting to jump at you when you least expect it. I certainly didn't expect to get the news that I did this week. And then I didn't expect to get it again. It's funny how that works, ain't it? Men's souls are constantly tested. And I want to reiterate, when I say men, I don't mean obviously just members of the male side of our species. I mean people, men, human beings. Our souls are always being tested as men. It is our burden. And the horror that is a part of our natural world is part of that test. How we encounter it, how we process it, how we deal with it and move forward. or if we move forward at all. I know you've encountered horror in your life, real horror, true nightmares, just as I have. But do you confront it? Do you look the horror in the face? Do you call its name? Or do you distract yourself with espressos and halftime shows? Don't be afraid of it. Every instinct in your body, every hair stands on end, tells you to be afraid. And it's right. You should be afraid. But the challenge that we all have to overcome is to fight that fear inside of us. Look the horror in the face. Say its name. Recognize its presence. And be steadfast in your own. That you can coexist with the horror and live to see another day. And that's where hope lives. Hope lives in the space between recognizing the horror and overcoming your fear. And so I hope on. And so should you. Recognize the autumn people, that October element inside all of us that Bradbury speaks of. Understand it, even welcome it, because that gives you the tools and the comfortability with encountering real horror and knowing not to be afraid. I want to thank y'all for staying with me another week. I hope these talks have been helpful, informative, or just entertaining. In a way, I'm probably a distraction to somebody, but I hope they learn something from it too. For those of you out there that are watching, that are suffering with something on your heart, I'm sorry. I recognize it. I feel it. You're not alone. But I'm sorry. And you know who you are. And I love you. Anyway. Our August sure is feeling a whole lot like October at the moment. The seasons change. And so too does man. Y'all have a nice weekend. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for stopping by. And I'll see you again next week.